Hey everyone, this is the first video in a series of videos talking about escaping or reversing the turtle position. We're going to talk about a stand-up today, controlling our opponent's wrists so that we can face them, attack them in several different ways, throw them to the ground. This is a good option in jiu-jitsu, certainly in wrestling, also in MMA if we want to get back to our feet.
So if you're not familiar with the turtle position, it looks something like this. It's a very defensive position. Again, you'll see it in fighting, but you'll certainly see it in jiu-jitsu, especially when there's something on the line, like a win or a loss in a competition. People will just close up and they won't move and they'll just be defensive. So it doesn't have to be the end of the world if we get there. I'm going to show some things that I like to do in a fight or in jiu-jitsu to escape the position. So the first one is going to be in this series. In this video, we're just going to show a basic stand. In jiu-jitsu, he's going to be on the side, knee in the hole. I'm going to be on my elbows defending. In a fight, this is an important position because I need to be covering my head to protect that free hand from punching my head off. So in the basic stand, what's going to happen, whether I get wrist control early or I get it as I step up, my first motion should be coming up to the feet, whether I'm posting here if he's heavy. Ideally, I'm going to be over here because I want to start fighting the hands. So a lot of times if this guy's really heavy, I'll have to be posted on my hand, but I want to try to control this wrist. From this position here, is I'm going to then get I'm going to stand up hard, putting my pressure back into him. Because he's pushing me forward, I'm going to push back. As I drive back into him, that's going to assist with my stand, and then hopefully I'm going to be fighting his grips here, ideally not letting him get his hands locked. So without a partner, again, a couple ways. A lot of times I want to try to explode up initially to get to a nice tall position. I want to be trying to block his arm from entering and wrapping the waist. From there, I'm going to drive behind, wherever he is, straight behind me, slightly off the side. I'm going to push back into him because he's going to counterbalance me. From there, I'm going to look to control the wrist. So there's some drills and there's kind of some tests for the stand-up to see if we're actually doing it properly. Again, if we stand straight up, we're going to be pushed forward. So the pressure has to be going back into my opponent. So let's pretend Sky didn't wrestle, doesn't do jiu-jitsu, he's new to this. One test you can do that's not super realistic, but just to check his pressure, is if I just stand above him with my hands on him, he goes to stand up and he does a bad job of standing straight up. There you go. If I can push him straight down, he wasn't pushing back into me. So now if he does a better job, as he stands up to push back pressure into me, he's solid. Continue to stand. As I push, he's going to be balanced. A step up from that, which is much more realistic, is get my knee in the hole, just give him some pressure here. So now, in this position, wrestling, the guy's going to be a lot more behind you. In jiu-jitsu, he's going to be a lot more off to the side. So as long as he puts pressure back to where my pressure is, he's going to have a good stand-up. So he explodes up. Here, I lean into him. Boom. Perfect. Final drill here. This is a solo drill. So we can always just practice that basic stand on our own. If you want a little bit of resistance, especially if you're having trouble with that back pressure. I used to hate these in high school, sorry coach. So in wrestling we'd be here, in jiu-jitsu we'd be on our elbows, we'd be protecting. From this position is I'm going to stand up, pressure into the wall, fighting that hand. I'm going to come in, and I'm going to turn my back into the wall. Then I can go right back down, elbows for jiu-jitsu, step up, and back. Pushing into that wall. I'm not going to knock that wall over. Okay? And when you do these fast, it becomes a conditioning drill. I go the other side, here. So it's a drill, but it also can be used as conditioning. One more time, he gets back on me again. I'm defending my choke. Ideally, if I catch his wrist early, I'm going to explosively get up to my feet. I'm going to drive back into this guy, and then I'm going to look to fight the hands. Hands, I can come back for a Kimura. I can sit for it, throw. From here, I can get a whizzer in. I can control his wrist. I can kind of work a T position type throw. If I had to, from here, I could just turn, get my hips way out, face, maybe shoot. A lot of options. You could go make 100 videos about what you can do from there, but the idea is to get up to the feet, break the grip, and then you have options from there.
If you liked the video, please subscribe. If you didn't like the video, please subscribe anyways. As always, too, please look for me on Instagram and Twitter at Ben_Egli. Thanks, guys.